tonight on Elon Local News.
Coming back to the classroom after a year of virtual classes, how parents and teachers are feeling to having students back in person.
Pandemic and protest, how Elon Day this year will respond to new challenges.
And tapping in for testing, how faculty and staff are helping Elon keep track of the virus.
All this and more.
Elon Local News starts right now.
Live from the Jane and Brian Williams studio at Elon University School of Communications, you're watching Elon Local News.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Margaret Faust.
And I'm Maeve Ashbrook. We begin tonight with an update on the Alamance-Burlington school system. Today, schools in the Alamance-Burlington school system are opening its doors to students for the first time since March 2020. Our Brian Ray now joins us live with more. Brian?
Good evening, Maeve. Today begins Alamance-Burlington school system's return to in-person learning, with K-5 students returning today and middle and high schools planning to begin next Monday. Now, families have the option to send their children back to school or keep them virtual. Students going back in person are divided into two cohorts, each going into school twice a week. Everyone will meet virtually on Wednesdays. Student teacher Nicole Holland says it was exciting to walk into school and see kids again.
School in so long, but once they got into the classrooms and were settled, you could tell that they were having fun, and it was just nice for them to be able to interact and socialize with their friends.
Parent William Moner is keeping his child fully virtual for now. He says until more people get the COVID-19 vaccine.
There seemed to be a rush to get kids back to school, and it just never really seemed like the right decision. And I think by now, with the vaccine being available, I think most parents are starting to feel a little bit more comfortable.
Elon Elementary Principal Jack Davern and ABSS Public Information Officer Jenny Faulkner declined my interview request, but directed me to this video where you can see the desks inside Elon Elementary are spread apart. Students will also get their temperature checked before entering the building and are required to wear masks. According to the district's COVID-19 dashboard, the positivity rate of the on-campus population across ABSS schools is 0.2%. Maeve and Margaret, back to you.
Brian, thank you.
As ABSS is moving ahead with offering in-person learning, the state Senate is voting tonight on an override of Governor Roy Cooper's veto on a school reopening bill. Senate Bill 37 would require schools in the state to offer in-person instruction with a 2-week grace period for schools to reopen. Students could also choose to continue remote learning under the bill. Governor Cooper vetoed the bill last week, saying it, quote, threatens public health just as North Carolina strives to emerge from the pandemic. The Senate is expected to meet at 7 p.m. tonight to vote.
89% of classes on Elon's campus this semester are either fully in person or using hybrid models, according to Provost Aswani Valetti. But as our Chloe Franklin reports, frustrations with the hybrid model on campus are continuing this semester.
As the coronavirus pandemic continues, Elon students are still adjusting to attending class in different formats. Elon freshman Britt Mobley says half of his classes are hybrid, but thinks they are worse than fully online classes.
It brings in the range for me when I'm in class. If I'm not in class, I'm not focused. I'm worried about all the other things that I have to do after that class, and it just becomes chaos.
Provost Aswani Valetti says he supports hybrid classes because they allow students to stay safe but still participate in engaged learning. He says hybrid learning is a much better option than online learning because you are still face-to-face part of the time.
So the learning, the sense of belonging and all those things is definitely better for students who are hybrid and face-to-face versus remote, because you don't really have the same connection, personal touch.
Lecturer in English Paula Patch says the hybrid format allows everyone to participate.
You don't have to stop your education, or you don't have to stop on the faculty and staff side, you don't have to stop your career.
But Patch says while hybrid learning is beneficial during the pandemic, she feels like her attention is always divided.
If I'm doing a really good job with the people who are on Zoom, I'm not doing the best job with the people in the classroom and vice versa. And so there's this sense of always failing one person or another.
In spite of the benefits that hybrid classes provide, Mobley says he still wishes he was 100% in person.
It solves one problem but creates a whole bunch of different issues.
Valetti says Elon's faculty has not made any plans to have online classes after the pandemic is over. Chloe Franklin, Elon Local News.
There is no official date yet when classes will go back to normal, but Provost Valetti says he is optimistic about the fall semester.
Tomorrow will be the 8th annual Elon Day, the university's day of giving that asks members of the Elon community to make donations to the school. As our Jacob Kismore reports, the festivities will look different this year, and not everybody is in a celebratory mood.
Offering both in-person and virtual events is no longer uncommon for Elon University, but Associate Vice President of University Advancement John Barnhill says even though this Elon Day will have a different feel, there is still a lot to look forward to.
It's going to be different. There's no question. And we are really sensitive to that. At the same time, a number of people that have said so far, I'm just waiting for Elon Day. I want to make my gift. I believe in this place.
Elon raised over $2.5 million last year, an all-time Elon Day high. Barnhill says he isn't sure whether COVID-19 will have a large impact on this year's donations, but is confident support will still be significant.
If history tells, there will be a lot of support for Elon's greatest needs, which supports all areas of the campus.
But while some are looking forward to Elon Day, the Boldly Elon Solidarity Collective is using it to voice their displeasure with the administration regarding their handling of the Elon Faculty Union. BESC has planned protests at all Elon Day events. BESC sophomore Lindsay Carroll hopes to make people think twice before donating to the university.
On a day like Elon Day that is oriented towards giving money, to know where your money's going and to question that and whether you ethically are okay with that if you're going to give money, and whether you're going to support admin's continued oppression of this union.
The university says the majority of the money raised on Elon Day will be invested into improving Elon University's amenities and programs, with the rest going towards scholarships. Barnhill says the university does not plan to respond to the protests in any way and does not believe demonstrations will detract from the Elon Day events.
My hope is that they will be active participants in Elon Day as well, because they believe in this place. Otherwise, they wouldn't be protesting. They wouldn't care. And so it's great that they do, and everyone has that freedom of speech to share what they think about things. But my hope is, and I know several other people involved in that they also love Elon, and that's why they're standing up.
Jacob Kismore, Elon Local News.
For more information on Elon Day, visit elonnewsnetwork.com and click the News tab.
Construction on Founders Hall and IQ2, the first two buildings within Elon's new innovation quad, began today in what was formerly the main McMichael parking lot. The lot closed Saturday evening, and any cars left in the parking lot this morning were towed. To offset the closure, Elon has added innovation quad parking lots with more than 400 new parking spaces on a portion of the former Elon Elementary School property. This lot can be accessed from East Haggard Avenue and Phoenix Drive and is reserved for visitors, faculty and staff, and students in graduate programs. Students with questions about parking can contact Campus Safety and Police at 336-278-5555.
And after the break, more information about the potential new structure of SGA.
And a look at virtual IFC spring recruitment.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes twice a day. They have the time.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat?
1 in 5 children struggles with hunger in America. Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. This guy, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
You're watching Elon Local News.
Continue to report symptoms of anxiety or depression, down from September, but still up since before the pandemic. Our Baylor Rodman reports on the continued challenge students are facing.
As the coronavirus pandemic continues, so is the halt of social and physical activity for many. Christie Campus Health works with colleges and universities across the country to provide more mental health and counseling options for students. Their chief clinical officer, Caitlin Gallo, says she's seen physical and mental health concerns becoming intertwined, now more than ever, both through research and through people's experiences.
Gyms, I know, would be many people's first choices, and they're set up very well to kind of go in and pick from a lot of things. And if that's not possible, what is possible to continue to support students' physical health and fitness, keeping in mind that that's also really important.
Elon senior and personal trainer Maria Olivia says she has seen Elon students promoting their physical health, getting back into the fitness center, and many new students pursuing personal training sessions.
I'm a big advocate of also workout snacks. So if you are sitting down for maybe 2 hours of your class and then just kind of jumping around in your room a little bit and just doing something small.
Olivia says while the fitness center's smaller capacity limits are not ideal, it's holding some accountable.
That's why a lot of people do training too, just so they have something to show up for. So I do think the gym slots have helped a little bit with people I signed up, so I must go.
Baylor Rodman, Elon Local News.
Students can reserve a time at the fitness center by registering on IM Leagues or can sign up for a $10 consultation with a personal trainer by contacting Campus Recreation and Wellness at 336-278-7529.
Students will soon be able to vote on a new constitution for SGA. Our Brian Ray spoke with SGA's Executive Vice President Jonathan Stetler, who has more information about what this restructuring could look like.
What are some of the main proposed changes that you think students should know about?
Yeah, so we have a few main proposed changes. It was a big structural change for us, so bear with me. But the first change is we're looking at the legislative branch. We're trying to condense it a little to reduce some senator apathy that we've seen over the last few years and be able to really engage with each senator that's on SGA and trying to work with us to better the university campus. So we're eliminating the organizational council as it currently stands and shifting those over to initiative director positions within the cabinet. Those are appointed positions in our old model and in our new model. So the other thing that we really wanted was a truly democratic Senate where all of the representatives were elected within the student body, not appointed from the student body president and organizational leaders and things.
Yeah, and if the proposed changes pass, how long will it take to kind of implement them?
Well, there are a few changes that I could definitely see implemented immediately. In our current constitution, the executive president has the ability to create positions as they deem necessary within under their office within the executive branch. So I could really see these really exciting initiative director positions be implemented very soon, probably as soon as the next executive president gets elected and sworn in early April. After that, some of the longer changes that require us to eliminate positions or create new positions that need to be elected, those have to wait until the next election cycle after the student body ratifies the Constitution. So that'll be in March of 2022 before all of the changes are fully implemented. But some of the small changes that can be implemented through the bylaws can be adjusted as soon as the next executive board has all of the bylaws laid out and ready for that to go.
Yeah, and what were some of those things in the previous Constitution that you felt like needed to be updated or didn't work for Elon anymore?
Yeah. First, one of the biggest things is in the Constitution is we're dividing the legislative branch from the executive branch a little bit more. I've definitely seen over my the 3 years that I was a senator and not in the executive branch, I saw that SGA was almost run like a business from top down with the executives over the Senate. But as a political science major, I definitely see the legislative branch in the Senate as being its own independent entity and able to make its own decisions. So I definitely saw a need to divide the executive and legislative branches a little bit more to allow the Senate to work more autonomously and independently and come up with its own initiatives, because there are almost 50 senators that each have their own great ideas that they want to get off the ground. So enabling that a little bit more.
Students will be able to vote on the new Constitution on March 18th and 19th during the SGA general election. A simple majority in favor of the changes will be needed for the new Constitution to pass. Stetler says students can expect an email from him this week with a copy of the proposed constitutional changes. Students can attend an information session on Thursday, March 11th if they have any questions.
After much deliberation and planning, Elon University's Interfraternity Council will be holding its spring recruitment virtually from March 8th to March 14th. The entire process is required to take place over Zoom as a safety measure against COVID-19. Vice President of Recruitment for IFC, Matt Faring, says as someone who went through virtual rush in the fall, the process has benefits.
I personally rushed last semester, so I went to recruitment online too. And for me, I sort of like different in the way that some fraternities had sort of like personalized breakout rooms with like a couple of brothers for like the last 2 days. So you could have like a more like intimate conversation with them rather than just a bunch of guys talking to one or two brothers.
Faring says each fraternity has similar formats for getting to know potential new members.
Personally, I had sort of like interview style breakout rooms for myself, and then other chapters just like did pretty similar stuff for the 4 days. And often there's an introduction by like the president in the beginning where he like talks about the fraternity.
Faring says the format of recruitment will be similar to previous semesters. March 9th and 10th are scheduled as open house days, and March 11th and 12th are set to be Brotherhood days. Bid day is set for March 14th. And for more on Elon's IFC recruitment, pick up a copy of The Pendulum this Wednesday.
Tired of winter rain when you can expect sunny skies and spring temperatures? Join me for the 5-day after the break.
My bike helmet taught me never to run with scissors and to follow the swimming rules.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up, No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right?
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Over 100 Elon faculty and staff volunteer at the COVID-19 testing site in Alumni Gym. Volunteering includes taking time away from their normal work schedule, so faculty and staff are paid their normal salary for their time. During these 3-hour shifts, volunteers guide students in safely administering their own antigen tests. Assistant Director of Elon Athletics Facilities, Brian Dudiak, says that he wanted to help give students the best college experience possible and did not hesitate in signing up.
So it just kind of was something that, you know, you felt like you needed to do to make sure that this place kept going and that we were able to sustain the great environment that we have.
All volunteers go through required training and are sent materials from Abbott Laboratories that teach them how to safely assist students from a distance. Each time they volunteer, staff arrive early to get retrained and tested. While the spring semester includes many changes to testing protocol, Dudiak is hopeful that the routine antigen testing will help the university identify cases before they become clusters.
We are in it together, and just because you're on one side of that table in Alumni Gym and I'm on the other, we're all still here for the same reason.
As widespread testing continues, Chair of the Ready and Resilient Committee, Jeff Stein, told ENN that volunteers play a significant role in helping campus remain open and mitigating cases for the rest of the semester.
And now our Baylor Rodman joins us live on Citrone Plaza with your Phoenix 5-day forecast. Baylor?
Well, thank you very much, Maeve. Yeah, I'm out here on Citrone Plaza, where it's about 55 degrees, but I can assure you it feels a lot cooler than that. We still got very cloudy skies, and it's been pretty much cloudy all day long as you start to look at some footage now from earlier this afternoon. The humidity is down from where it was this morning, so that's some good news. We do have a 20% chance of showers overnight, and you can certainly expect cloudy skies and temperatures as low as 33 degrees. As we move in now to our Phoenix 5-day forecast, we are looking at temperatures in the mid to high 50s, even hitting the low 60s at one point on Thursday, so that's some good news. Tomorrow is going to be the coldest day of the week, partly cloudy skies, high there of just 53. Wednesday, we can expect some showers earlier in the morning, but mainly partly cloudy skies. Thursday is sort of our power day of the week. High there 61, mostly sunny skies. That's going to be the nice day indeed. Friday and Saturday, you got temperatures in the mid-50s. Friday, partly cloudy. Saturday, mostly sunny. But take a look at all those lows. They are low in the 30 degrees, even 29 on Saturday. So you can't put that winter gear away just yet. You're certainly going to need it in the early mornings, the late evenings indeed. So the question of the day, when is my North Carolina blue sky coming out? When are those spring temperatures? And we're already starting to see that forecasted for the following week ahead. Temperatures coming in looking like in the 60s, even the low 70s at some point. So the good news is it's coming. It's just not quite here yet. So we'll certainly update you on Thursday on the following week. But in terms of this week, you know, don't put that winter gear away just yet. But there's certainly going to be some nice spots. Maeve and Margaret?
Baylor, thank you. And after the break, more on a new art exhibit on display in Arts West.
Listen to me. I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late,
She doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice. She's new. Hello, is anyone there? Ugh.
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened? Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi.
You mean you were driving?
Yeah. I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
You're watching Elon Local News.
We begin this morning with President Connie Book's first day in office. Book started her day before 6 a.m. working out in Corey Gym.
And take a look back at our coverage from 3 years ago when Connie Book started as president of Elon University. She started her day at the gym, as you can see, but it's been heavy lifting ever since. Looking back, President Book's first major test came in the fall of 2019. Book made the ultimate decision to cancel classes as Hurricane Florence threatened North Carolina. 1 month after her inauguration in October, Book faced her next challenge as non-tenure track faculty began the fight to unionize. After leading the charge with the Boldly Elon fundraising and strategic plan, Book then faced her toughest year yet. With the coronavirus pandemic shutting down campus operations last spring, President Book ultimately reopened the school for in-person learning this past fall. Also, with renewed calls for racial justice across the country, Book worked this past fall to ease racial tensions on campus.
From now through mid-March, a new installation featuring a collection of youthful paintings is on display in Arts West. Artist and University of Arkansas professor Neil Callender says he paid his son chore money to pose live for 3 sets of paintings. He calls each painting of his son a source painting, which inspires several other pieces of abstract art. Callender says he wants people to reflect on death while looking at the youth. Callender will provide a lecture on his work virtually next Monday, March 8th at 5:30 p.m. For details, visit elon.edu/calendar/cultural calendar.
And that's all the news we have for you this evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
For all the news you need to know when we are not on the air, visit elonnewsnetwork.com and follow us on social media at Elon News Network.
Stay safe and stay dry, Elon.